Hey, welcome to Black Lab Garage. Today, I'm going to wheel that 460 out that I put together a year and a half ago, 2 years. Haven't ever got it swapped yet. But, so it's never been ran. Still on the engine stand. It's got a brand spanking new comp cam in it. And I'm taking it out. I'm not going to run it. If you're wondering why, well, I'm going to show you there's a reason. You ready? Come on, let's get into it. Well, this thing ain't been uncovered in a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. I get the knot undone on the back. Or maybe rusty as a hoe blade, who knows? I'm going to change the bag anyway. Nah, we're still good. So now let's pull the harmonic balancer and stuff off of it. Dang, I put a new one on it. I forgot I put a new harmonic balancer on it. Huh. Man, that's pretty. Anyway, pull the harmonic balancer off. Pull the timing cover and water pump off and the oil pan off, and then just pull the camshaft out of it. Oil pan off. Now let's get the harmonic balancer off. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's flip this thing back over now. This is the sucky part of 460s. Of course, they ain't too bad with the heads off. I've seen people go to roll them over with the heads on it. When it goes to roll it, flip standing all over because they're so heavy. Now let's pull the timing chain and stuff off of it and the fuel pump eccentric. All right, this stage right here, I'm going to show you something. See right here where your fuel pump eccentric goes and the bolt goes through? You see how this is kind of triangle shaped? That means it's made for a two-piece fuel pump eccentric. Okay, I threw an old timing set away, or I showed you on the actual timing set, but you see that right there? Well, my phone went dark. See how that one's a big circle where the bolt goes through and the fuel pump eccentric mounts up? That means it's made for a one piece. That's how, because a lot of people don't understand how you tell the difference between the upper sprocket for a two piece and a one piece. Because what happens, you see how the two-piece eccentric's made here. Let me zoom this back out. There we go. You got these pieces here. Okay. If it's made like that, this piece bolts all the way up against that sprocket, and this here can still rotate on the outside. If you did that with the one on the big circle, this bottoms out against the sprocket and it can't turn. So, and that, of course, this being thin like it is, it'll wear through in no time. So that's how you tell the difference between the two. Just a little information there for you. Now we get my homemade cam installation and deinstallation tool out. Hey, don't laugh, it works. Get the cobwebs off of it. Now let me get all this assembly lube. I slathered on it off of it, and I want to show you the actual lobes. Okay, I've got the cams laid out here. This is the comp cam right here. Of course, you can see assembly lube still on it. And this is that Lanati that I've got. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see the name on it there. Now, I've got both cams orientated the same way. Now look at the lobe difference. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Now these cams are very similar in lift and duration, but you see how much difference there is on the lobe on the comp cam. Let me get a stock cam and throw out, I do have a stock 460 cam. Let me get it out here and lay it up here with them. Now it's a little rusty. This cam here, it's a bone stock 460 cam. It only had about 60,000 miles on it. Now look at the lobe. It, Lanati, look pretty much identical. Then you get to the comp. Yeah, quite a bit different on the lobe. Now let me explain to you why. Okay, the reason that those lobes look so different from each other is that cam is one of Comp's extreme energy 4x4 cams. Okay, Comp come out with that extreme energy line in the mid-90s. I remember buying one of them when they first come out. I was building a Pontiac 400 at the time, and those that just came out, and they was all the rage, you know. They used to have ads like, you know, roller power for flat tappet price, you know, blah blah. And they do make more power. I'm not arguing that. But there is no such thing as a free lunch. Okay, the reason those lobes look so much different is they have an accelerated ramp. They open the valve much faster than your standard hydraulic flat tappet cam. Much faster. That's why they strongly recommend using their springs with them, because it takes a lot more spring pressure to hold that lifter down on that camshaft. Because I remember, actually I called Butler Performance back in the mid-90s when I was building that 400, and it's kind of ironic because they were all about crane cams then, and they push comp cams now, but that's a whole different story. But anyway, he was talking about them, and he said the same thing. Those ramps are so steep that it literally, if you don't have enough spring pressure, launches that lifter off the nose and then slams back down. Okay, and I mean, have you ever heard one of those extreme energy cams run? A lot of them are noisy as hell. And get online, you'll hear people talking about how noisy they are. Well, that's why. They've got too fast of a ramp, and if your springs ain't stout enough, it's launching the lifter off the nose and slamming back down. But if you run a stout enough spring, guess what? Now you're in the boat of trying to wipe the cam out. You're kind of in a no-win situation here. Does that make sense? You know, since they took the zinc and everything out of the oils. But it's still a bad design. I mean, will those cams last as long as a standard, you know, GM Ford whatever grind, or just a standard aftermarket grind? No, they can't. I mean, by their design, they cannot last that long. I ain't saying that they can't last, but you're not going to get 100, 150,000 miles out of one like you would an OEM cam is what I'm saying. They're going to wear out much, much faster. So, and I know there are people saying, well, it's the lifters causing the problem. Yes, I'm not saying that lifters aren't part of the problem. I have good lifters to put in mine, okay? But there are people that have put good lifters in them and used the right oils, and they still wiped out. And this is part of the problem. Now, for that motor, that 460, I bought that camshaft in like 2017. And this is before I got as wise as I am now. You know, that's been math. Let's see. Carry the 3 and times 2. 6 years ago. I'm just kidding. I'm a little better at math than that. But anyway, and I'm just not going to risk it. I'm not after every last ounce of horsepower. I want a good, reliable motor that makes good power. That's it. I don't need that. I wanted a Comp 265 DEH to put in it. Those were good camshafts. The 255, 265, 275 DEH were great camshafts. They don't grind them anymore. Well, I mean, see the other video, you know that they never did grind them, but I'm saying they don't offer them anymore. You might be able to call them, get them to specially grind you one, but as far as off the shelf, they no longer offer them. Pretty much all they offer anymore, for anything other than a Chevrolet. Now, for a small block Chevrolet, yeah, you can still get the 268 and the 270, you know, the ones that they've sold for 40, 50 years now. But as far as Ford and all them, you get extreme energies or nothing. And with that comes extreme failures, and I'm just not going to chance it. So I'm just throwing this out there, and you see the difference in the lobes. If you want to go ahead and use them, by all means go ahead and use them. I'm not going to. I'm smarter than that now. You know, I'll probably use that Lenati. If I want something different, I'll probably just get one custom ground for me. That way I know it's right, and it's application specific, and you know, it'd be made out of good metal, and not have to worry about it wearing out too fast. So use your own judgment, but don't say I didn't warn you. So I hope this helps some of you. Be sure and hit the thumbs up. Although I know somebody's going to hit the thumbs down just because I bashed the beloved comp cams. How dare you, evil, cruel person. Hey, the truth ain't always pretty. I'm just telling you like it is. Alright? So, hit the thumbs up. Be sure to like, subscribe. Because I just had to buy dog food this week again. That's $92 a bag now. And these meatheads eat. But we appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you again here soon. See you.